Actually. Uh, Good evening, everyone. Uh, Today we are here. I, on behalf of Nupur, um, invite everyone to join us for this talk delivered by Dr. Asha Singh. The talk is on Indian classical dance and human values. The talk is part of our initiative. The Janki Devi Memorial College is a G20 nodal college. And as part of the G20 initiative and Jan Bhagidari, we are organizing several sessions which are broadly based on the framework of G20, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. So today here with us is Dr. Asha Singh. She is a retired associate professor, Lady Irwin College, University of Delhi. She is also a noted exponent of both Kathak and Odissi. Dr. Asha Singh is trained in child development and psychology of education from University of Delhi and Ottawa University. She has had a lifelong association with dance, theatre, and children's education, and has made remarkable contribution in these fields. She has been associated with the National Council of Educational Research and Training, NCRT, and the National Institute of Public Cooperation and Child Development, NIPCCD. One of her most important contributions has been her creation of the very famous and popular children's television show, Gali Gali Sim Sim. We thank you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and agreeing to share your vast knowledge and experience with us today. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Ankan, Nirmala, and Charu for thinking of me. And thanks a lot, Ankan, for your very generous, I mean, it's customary to say, but I want to add something which would be central to the plot, and that I was also associated with National School of Drama for initially giving a kickstart to the theatre and education company, so where I used a lot of dance. So, when initially you asked me, and I thought it's for the society, and then it grew big and big and bigger. And 3 days ago, I said, oh my God, the talk is around the corner. But why have they called me? I mean, in a city where we have exponents, scholarly dancers like Sonal Mansingh, Geeta Chandran, Madhavi, who was a classmate, 1 year senior to me in school. And so I said, why me? Then I thought about it, and I thought maybe it's the human element of being associated with human development and childhood studies that has got me this invite, which I'm very grateful for this recognition by Janki Devi and from the three of you, because my lifelong association, I can say lifelong because it's since the age of 6, I think, I've been associated with dance, etc. Human values we will come to, but it's really been what all dance did to me. So at that point, this is the way I'm going to, kind of play around with the title when you said classical dances and dance and its contribution to human values and human. So I'm going to call it or play around with it as classical dance and its very many manifestations. What all dance can do. One of the most enduring and abiding memories of classical dance was the insistence. At that point, it looked, sometimes we'd say, again, dance class, because, if you hadn't practiced, if you hadn't mastered the precision, then so the grammar of dance was very important. And it's only slowly, in a manner of, I think, 3-4 years that I realized when I could do my own choreography. And I will show you 2-3 things that I learned from classical dance, which helped me And when I say manifestations, I have used dance with communities, I have used dance in the classroom, I have used dance with children. And I don't think I've lost the classicalness of it. So let me say the insistence of the classical arts in practice to precision to performance. It gives you a confidence. It gives you a sense of, expressing through your body, which is the most, rewarding experience that you will be able to create, kind of meaningful communication through your dance. And this precision and this, from the three elements of dance, the nritya, and the abhinay, one also started, when you had to do abhinay, one also started observing people, that how does emotion is one of the very important things of dance. How does the face change? So if somebody was angry, it's not everybody watches, but it's to the dancer, it does something else. It kind of, empathize with the feelings. How to invoke those feelings in you when you are, going to be a dancer, or when you're going to be performing. So this following of the beat, the rhythm, and use of body. So one of the very elemental things it does is it kind of shapes your body. It kind of makes your body respond to rhythm. And once when I was with the human development part of my training, once when I was writing the value of music and dance for children, I began with infants. Why does the infant kind of get soothed when you say, It's because our life-sustaining, body rhythms are rhythmic, whether it's our pulse, whether it's our heartbeat. So it's very soothing. And for 9 months, the child was in that glub, glub, glub. So that rhythm is set into every human being. People take it differently. At present, I can say the dance in another form is very popular. And I won't dismiss it that, they dance to Bollywood or they dance to just any kind of music. It's their enjoyment. Everybody cannot be oriented towards the classical arts. Then it wouldn't remain classical. But if they can enjoy the classical part of it, that is a very interesting story. Now, in terms of the joy of the rhythm, you build a crescendo. So that doing, so you've gone that and you have to come back at tay. So that is a very joyful. And if you recall, when you're watching a dance, everybody claps because that crescendo that's built. So it's just that it gives the body a lot of, it's firstly, if I were to kind of enlist human values, one is the joy that it provides. And if you're a happy person, you do many things happily. You get a more positive orientation to life. So that's one of the things. Then, as I was talking about the grammar of dance, let's just look at it. I tried to do a little Bhumi Pranam. Every one of the aspects of dance, I wish people from all vocations kind of knew that. Whether it's a Bharatanatyam dancer or a Odissi dancer or a Kathak dancer, the Bhumi Pranam is central. Bhumi Pranam is, greeting the audience and taking permission from Mother Earth that I'm going to be, doing things on your surface. So that Ashirvad, that communication. So everybody has, every dance, the roots for all the dances are in the Natya Shastra, but every dance form has its own symbols and its own movements. So I've tried to kind of do a little bit from the Kathak style. I didn't want to have everything from the internet. I just wanted to, you know, so this is Bhumi Pranam. The sky, the earth, and now I am ready to dance. So this exists in all dance forms. So I just thought that let me begin with this, that there is a discipline that dance gives. You just don't run into a dance class and start, even if you're late for a class, you are trained. And you know, youngsters these days, I'm so happy when I meet dancers and they say, who are you learning from? Biju Maharaj. So, you know, when they have to take the name, even that is done respectfully, that I have to tell who my guru is. So that's one other thing that is very central to dance, building up a, what is called, sense of discipline, sense of, you know, orientation and keeping and the ethos of the dance forms. Okay, let's just see. Yeah. So as I said, classical dance and its manifestations promotes human values, which we will kind of derive at the end of it. The other things that children, when they begin dancing, or any, you know, dancer begins, or any Rasika starts dance with, is, you know, a sense of humility, a sense of dedication to the god of dance. So I'll play that for you. And it's again form. It's, let me just first describe the shloka, that is, Angikam Bhuvanam Vasya Vachikam Sarva Vangmayam. Means it's my body, and Bhuvanam, I'm part of this whole universe, and I will dance. And it's really to that person whose language is the language of the world. And the jewels are Aharyam, Chandra, and the sun and the moon. And my salutations, Satvikam Shivam. So this, let me translate it for you. It's written here. We bow to him, the benevolent one, whose limbs are the universe, whose song and poetry are the essence of all languages, whose ornaments are the moon and stars. So when a dancer begins like this, so the idea comes that, yes, and they are to do it in a dance form. So the sense is that, yes, I am just a little speck beginning to dance. And there are many others who have done, who will do. So it is that shloka. Then there is one more, you know, thing that I would like you to pay attention to. In dance, we are always taught, Yatha hasto stato drishti. Yatha drishti tatho mana. Yatha mano tatha bhava. Stato bhava. Stato bhava. Yatho bhava. Stato rasa. And I was very kind of moved by this as I grew up. Because to convey, you may have an expression, but you have to put your soul into it to be able to generate that ras in the audience, that which I will show you two very, you kind of stalwarts of classical dance, Odissi, and then you'll experience it perhaps. But very interestingly, recently I saw this film, which was made, Shabash Mittu, and it was made on, it's a biopic on the captain of the Indian cricket team, who did wonders. She was learning dance when she showed interest in cricket. So her friend tells her, who's a little older than her, and later the guru, they tell the coach, they tell her that, just the way you learn in dance, yatho hasta tatho drishti. So they use this metaphor of where your hand is, put your eyes. Where your eyes are, bring that to your, sense of feeling. And what you're feeling is, build that into an expression. Convey it through the body. And that conveying through the body will generate that passion. And that, so she never forgets this. And in all her interactions. So I thought, in terms of what dance has to teach to other disciplines, what dance can give.
Dr. Singh, you're not audible.
She is connected. I can see her.
Yeah.
I think she's now exited the meeting. I think she might join back.
I'm sure she'll come join back. Yeah, there.
She's
Yeah.
back.
Dr. Singh, you're muted. Dr. Singh, can you please unmute yourself? Dr. Singh, can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah. So what
Thank
I
you.
was saying was that in case people want to ask questions, will that be possible?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
How would you like to take
Definitely.
the questions?
But after you speak, they can ask. We will unmute them. No issues.
Okay, all right. But that might be a bit okay. So
Ma'am, I think if you keep your camera switched off while you're presenting, it might help the network.
Okay, did anybody recognize the dancer?
Bala Saraswati, ma'am.
Yeah. So Bala Saraswati, she's one of the, and this is her most, kind of magnum opus in dance. She's still young in this recording, but when I saw her last was in the 25th year of independence, and she was much older. And the way the bhakti came in her, I have never been able to forget that image, where she's the wonder she shows. This song is about Krishnani Begane Baro, that you're always doing naughty things, and people are taking out butter, and you go and steal. And I have so much butter at home, I can give you. And then when she sees the whole universe, the expression, it's just unforgettable. So there were dancers like that who kind of, then there is another Kevat Samvad, which, if there's time in the end, I'll show you, because right now I think the recording has kind of turned here and there. It's Kelucharan Mahapatra performs it. And the way he rolls, and, the joy in meeting the Lord, those feelings are so, one can feel that that joy is there. And the whole Kevat Samvad is the time when Ram, Sita and Lakshman want to cross the river. And they request the, boatman, Kevat, that aap hame ye samudra par kara doge. So he said, aapko jo sabko bhavsagar par karate hain. And so it was just, so, one has to learn many things from other dancers. And that connection, again, infuses a sense of curiosity. Now, you'll say curiosity. Curiosity in the sense, how do they get it? What can I do? So those are things that, the bring out the best from your body does it to you. There's so there are many stories about dancers that I can say. Let me get back to some of the other things about dance. Again, all the dances have kind of a margam, like you begin with the invocation to God, then you begin the nritta piece where you show the techniques of the dance, and then you have, the other nuances. So Mangalacharan in Odissi has a very interesting thing. And that I'll show you when I show you a bit of some of the choreographies. Respect to the space. You go to all the different corners. If you go right, you go left, backwards, sideways. Along with that, when the Mangalacharan ends, there is what is called Trikhandi Pranam. Pranam to the Devas, Pranam to the Guru, and Pranam to the audience. So that, it's not only in poetry, but you convey it through dance. Guru Govindo khade kake lagu paay, Balihari Guru aapki, Govind diyo dikhai. So here, the God, perhaps Shiva, then the Guru. Then another thing that I'm a little more passionate about Odissi, the shloka, the Ganesh shloka, which is what taught me, descriptions, how to embellish your descriptions. You don't have to just kind of respond to the word. So there is the shloka, Namami Vighnarajatam, Uma Putram. So Vighnaraj, we grow up in Hindu families that Ganesh is the Lord of, praying, and you have to pray in the beginning. So Vighnaraj removes all the obstacles. So you don't have to say Vighnaraj. Vikhnarajitam. So, you're just describing the form of Ganesha, the different aspects. Then the other thing, I won't do the whole shlok, but then Uma Putrang. Uma is Shiva's wife. So Uma Putrang. Then at another point it is Kandava Priya Putraya. So again, the people who wrote, the older people, they didn't only eulogize the mother's love. There was also so these things slowly come to you. Tandava Priya Putraya. The pose is also the same. And then that's Vatsalya, the paternal love, the maternal love. So these are small things that came to my notice as I grew along. And then the femininity of it. I enjoyed being, a woman describing emotions, feeling the sense of love, the sense of, I am surely going to show you Kelu Babu. It's not only that can come only from a woman dancer. Male dancers, Birju Maharajji and Kelu Babu, all of them extremely, the way they're, the face is so agile. It moves. And so, you learn that there is no gender to things. I mean, expression, emotions, it is there. So that's another aspect to it. Then, of course, dance and the love for nature. Basanti, Basante. So, you learn about different, seasons and what happens in those. But at this point, I'll digress a little, that in my journey with dance, what it did to me, along with the dances, like things like Basanti, Basante, it's a Pallavi. And it's the description of the Odissi dance and Odissi. I moved a lot. I started becoming very interested in folk dances right from childhood. I was learning classical dance, but, annual functions, etc. Because the folk dances taught you so many, like, Hare Hare Kitva, Hare Hare Patva, Homo Re Ram, Homo Re Ram, Kitva. So I realized the folk dances teach you about life in a different way. And they have their own grammar. So from the grammar of dance, classical dance, I also started enjoying the folk dances. Because, I learned, Hare Hare Khitwa, the Khitwa mein kya hai? Then, dehusking the crop. So and slowly I became, and our schools also kind of promoted much of it, whether it was a Santhali dance or the Naga folk dance. So precision, which was already there in dancers' bodies, but teamwork. And there's a lot of teamwork and group dancing nowadays in classical forms also. So that teamwork, whether it was a tribal dance, whether it was bihu, whether it was samba, learning to shake your hip and move it with movement, it was really also wonderful. And then you realize that dance is a universal language. It's there in all cultures, in some form or the other. But this basic sense of observation of movement, one learns from, early training in dance. And, but I have to say that I started enjoying folk dances equally. And, whether it's Kaikotikali and Tittara, it was really kind of learning about different communities through their music and art and dance. So that was a very, very invigorating thing. Emotion, we have already talked about, that it really gives again, it sharpens your observation. It sharpens your understanding. Again, I'm going to bring in the choreography, that you don't have to just, respond to words. You also have to think of the whole story. You have to, so at this point, I'll change into one dance also. What that, and this whole thing of whether it's like, whether it's a song, Bavaraman Dekhne Chala Ek Sapna. You don't have to just do those. You have to think what a sapna does to you, and your movements will come to you. Sapna can be anything, and this you learned. Sapna can be you're getting ready and you're thinking, where will you go? Who will you meet? So it started, the training in dance gives you a sense of story making, which can help you to gain your emotional expression. So at this point, again, I will take a little time to just choreograph a little thing in front of you. And yeah, so that's. This is Guru Kelucharan Mahapatra. Let me see if, then I'll do my bit later. Can you see?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible. Ma'am, you have to play. It's paused.
Oh.
The one inside the slide, ma'am. The video inside the slide.
Yeah, I'll go back to it. So the YouTube is not playing. It's playing inside the slide.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it Lalit Lavangalata, ma'am?
No, it is, yeah, this. That Yaduna, Yahi Madhav Yahi Keshav. So it's about, he's enacting Radha, and watch his expressions, whatever you can. And he's saying that, beautiful thoughts, that your eyes are all, red because of the, you kiss the inner eyelids of your lover. I know you spent a night with some other woman. And, so the expressions are so beautiful. She's angry, and yet she's trying to convey to him. But, you can go back. Thank you. Okay, that was beautiful choreography, and beautifully done. I mean, it kind of gives me goosebumps every time I watch him dance. Let me just what I gained and what I could do for when I was with other people. So this is just a song, and then it has a alap in the beginning. So people ask me, how will you kind kind of act out the. So then I thought about it. I said, I thought to myself, it's the story. You have to. So I will do right here. So this is, the story of somebody who's going to meet, her lover, and she's trying to lure. So she's getting ready, and then she just wants a sense of touch. So she discovers maybe it's a ploy. She hasn't put a bindi. So she says, my hands have henna. Mehendi lagi hui hai. That you all understood. So this is, just choreographing. What I also wanted to share was that songs from around you can also be choreographed into the classical form. And, they don't have to be. There's a very, I've done this kind of thing in many gatherings, that there's a very thin line between grace and what is vulgar. It's not that the Ashtapadis or the, like Odysseus, Nakuru Nitambini, which actually means that you, the one with, big hips, why are you walking away from me? But it's done in such a subtle manner that Nakuru Nitambini. So it doesn't feel, it's just that admiration for the body, for, descriptions. So that's something that it's not, sometimes Bollywood goes overboard and, the actions are very gross. So it just, you don't feel like looking. So that's the kind of, borders that you have to give. And that again is human values in terms of how much to, share, how to, convey feelings of lust, feelings of through movement. And it teaches in your interactions what can be, maintained, what has to be gone under the delete button. So those are some of the things I've shared with you that, I got very attracted to the folk dances. And so if I were to kind of just, I have more things to share, especially my work with children, how I've used dance with children. And so like, little nursery rhymes, just act it out. That I'll just share. But right now, if you'll all agree, it's empathy. Somehow the Abhinay part, the understanding of how do you remember what to do? For me, it was, how do I remember ki iske sang ye karna hai, uske sang ye karna hai? It's the storyline. It's the focus and attention that was sharpened in my understanding of the dance forms. So, and regard for aesthetics, my love for nature, my, understanding. So all these things, and of course, as I began, Bhumi Pranam and Angikam, the sense of humility that the whole universe is being driven. I'm something small there, and I'm trying to strive and do something there. So these are some of the things that I wanted to share in my journey of dance with you. And so, as I said, I'm very excited about my work with children, where, so this is a video of a film song, which I, kind of, and you'll see the child also, how the child is enjoying. I think I'll have to go the other way. This is my training in dance, classical dances. I'm using the corners. The child's reaction with rhythm was my best reward. And that's why, whenever I'm doing workshops with teachers, I kind of tell them and there are many others like me who are working for bringing movement, music to the classroom. And of course, now NCRT and the NAP 2020 has also moved into that direction, arts in the classroom. So good luck to the future generations. I'll end with another, little thing that is very popular with children, and which I learned when I was as part of, again, annual day. It was also teamwork through your fingers. उंगलियां लड़ने लगी आपस में, बहन मेरी क्यों इतराती हो. Then छोटी उंगली यूं उठ बोली, मैं इसलिए इतराती हूँ, सब बहनों में छोटी कहलाती. दूसरी उंगली यूं उठ बोली, गंगा जमुना का जल में छिड़कती. So it can be done in a what is called a puppet form, and it's really popular. All children dance to it. And so beginning from training in classical dance, reaching out to children through limericks, through children's songs, interpreting popular songs. Of course, you have to have a choice. You can't be dancing only on very popular, some division has to be there between pop culture and classical, or the aesthetics of dance and music. So, and that choice is one of the biggest values that you can get if you're trained in any of the arts. So at this point, if people have any questions, I'll be very happy to take the questions. And besides, then I can share other things also.
Participants are requested, they can switch on their audios and they can ask the questions directly to ma'am.
Anybody?
Ma'am, I had one question. I would like to begin in case, others would follow. So you spoke about many of the values that are enshrined in classical dance, and as one thinks about it, one understands. But I was also thinking about the idea that many ethics and values in society are part of an ethos or a time period. So if our classical dances originated or developed at a certain period in time, I'm sure those values were there in society at that time. In our contemporary society, we have many values which have remained the same, but there are some which are new, which have emerged. In that kind of a context, how do you think classical dance can, embody or incorporate those values into dance and pass them on?
Yeah. This is often also said about literature, that stories were written at a particular time, they were relevant there. But the more you analyze, the more you think about it, there are certain things that are universal and timeless. They have no chronological periodicity to it. And dance, I think, there will always be a certain section of society which will kind of dismiss. Like I myself I told you, I moved on to folk dances also. But I kept some of the ethos when I was choreographing, using the directionality, using the space in a manner that, kind of was evocative of balance and aesthetics, that, the human eye is like that. When you look this side, you expect something this side. It's the dance has kept. And you need repetition of movement. So you don't go on, dancing in a particular manner. So, but the larger population, in a way, I'm going to say that those particular section of society who are with you preserve the ethos of the dance. The rest will come if they want to. I mean, in many classical concerts and lecture demonstrations, this is often talked, and I'm afraid to say this, that, the classical arts, I said it in passing somewhere, they're classical because they are, limited to a fewer people. That's why they're classical. So keep that definition, keep that meaning, and that it's, people will recognize it. People will. I'll share a very, it's again an anecdote, and it's personal experience. Like, there was a lot of dancing in, like, you have a Sangeet and lots of dancing in weddings. And it was a very close friend's son's wedding. So I said, I will do one dance. And I chose a song like Jato Se Nahi Bolu Kanhaiya. And there were little girls who had been happily dancing to Bollywood and enjoying themselves thoroughly. But two girls came to me later and they said, Aapka dance alag tha aur bahut acha tha. So if that in any case answers your question, it was very rewarding for me. That there is, in the younger generation also, there is a sense and appreciation for aesthetics. I'm not patting myself that I dance very well, but I mean, it was different. I mean, I did do in Kathak style and with, so that's how I will say that. I won't give any big long spiels about this is what we should do. This is, I mean, people have brought up things that I was carrying a sitar and people said, is it another form of guitar? Just say no. People, everybody is not exposed to everything. Just say no, it's a stringed instrument. You're right in that, but it's a sitar. We as classical artists don't have to, look down upon the have-nots. I don't know, Uncle, whether you...
I would also like to share an experience, an anecdote.
Yeah.
Basically, we were in college and Guru Yamini Krishnamurti had come as part of SPICMK, and as is expected sometimes in colleges, students are making noise, etc. So she said something that has stayed with me for till now. She said that, all dance and classical art forms are a way of connecting with the divine, and that is the ultimate kind of theory behind it. And when you are, as students or as the general public or as a larger population, sitting and viewing something or watching, it is a matter of divine blessing. And only if you are blessed, you get to, see a performance like this. So maybe we can all not learn the dance forms or the art forms, but definitely, just like a preschooler is expected to sit in class and be seated and kind of see what is happening, absorb what is happening, that perhaps can be the beginning point for values, etc. So that is also just equally important.
Yeah. So that's Punya, thank you. You've kind of complimented spelled with a E. My point that it will reach. Some can say, I mean, she quoting Yamini, she has kind of given it a larger thing, but that's what I really also meant, that we cannot make everyone classically oriented. And values we can share, continue, sustain the aesthetics, sustain the humaneness. People will pick up. I mean, we have to have a certain kind of sense of an attempt to keep sharing the positivity. Yeah.
Any other questions?
Good evening, ma'am. Ma'am, I would like to ask a question that when we do technical part in a choreography, how can we add more human elements to it in a dance? Like if we are performing a technical piece, how can we add more human elements to it rather not having it all technical?
By technical elements, you mean the nritta part of it?
Yeah, I think pure dance.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the pure dance. Well, don't make any compromises. Have the pure dance sequences, because it's the pure dance which gives you ki, oh my God, that's so much our bodies can do. And then flow into, just the way in what dance form do you learn?
Ma'am, I'm a Kathak dancer.
So you're a Kathak dancer. तो Kathak dancer में तो तत्कार के संग तुम गत भाव में चले जाओ, तुम्हारा ह्यूमननेस आ जाएगा उसमें. अभी आपके अंकन सर इज अ ओडिसी डांसर, सो वो एक सीक्वेंस होगा बट्टू का, विच इज प्योरली टेक्निक, एंड देन उसके बाद पल्लवी होगी, उसके बाद शायद वो there was a very beautiful Uriya composition called Sundar Nagari. Like Odisha is on the coastal region. So they just dreamt कि समुद्र के उस पार कोई सुंदर स्वप्नों की नगरी है. And which was so true. Maybe it's Cambodia and, Laos and all that side. So that whole thing of dreaming. So it's humane, it's imaginative, it's creative. So many important aspects. But here I would stick to the question that Ankan raised about the values. Don't compromise with the nritta part. I mean, decide for your audience. If you're going to do it for a college audience, don't do a 25-minute Tillana. But don't take it away ki are inko maja nahi aayega. Maja is also with, I mean, we learned when I was doing Gali Gali Sim Sim, if the things didn't make sense, we saw with our own eyes, the child just switched off the channel and went off. So if you think children only like slapstick humor, it's not true. They want a middle, beginning and end. A beginning, middle and end. Pakka chahiye unhe. Flow. So don't underestimate the audience. The joy of technique. I wish this was a live thing I would show you. I mean, I still try. Okay, thank you. Very nice question though.
Thank you, Mahima. Anybody else?
I mean, these
Actually,
are the
ma'am,
questions. Yeah, tell me.
yeah, I was just thinking that what Mahima was asking and what you were saying, these are questions that we deal every day or have to deal every day, because we also kind of do performances in the college. So
Yeah.
every time we have to deal with this question ki hum kya dikhaye, unko kya pasand aayega, and also not be in the danger of assuming for the audience कि उनको पसंद नहीं आएगा. We should not be going into that dangerous state.
हाँ. नहीं, so take the format of Mangalacharya. It begins with technique. It has a shlok.
Yeah.
It ends with technique. So in your dances, when you choreograph, do that. And it's very difficult to, again, I've been in college and I've been a student advisor for donkey's years. And so the point that used to come at one point, the dominance of film music was so much that I just said that it's a cultural festival. It's not a, film audition. So no film songs. So one student came to me and said, it's a cultural festival in a college. It's not a cultural festival in Sahitya Natak Academy. So I was flummoxed for a bit. I had no answer. But जवाब तो मुझे देना था. So मैंने बोला कि whatever film songs you want to do, you can do it after the formal events are over. But if we are looking for talent in music, then we should have musical things in it. And because I mean, like I myself use film songs to choreograph, but those, I mean, I note the aesthetics of it. I note the, but that I can't guarantee for everybody. So we had to make that rule and it stayed on for quite some time. I hope it's still continuing, but because it really brings out a lot of good talent.
Fingers crossed, ma'am. I think somebody had switched on their audio. I think Nandini ji. Do you have a question, Nandini ji?
Maybe she's left. I can't see Nandini ji.
One very small question. Again, I'm just kind of taking it to ransom. But could you tell us a little bit about how Gali Gali Sim Sim happened? Because I'm really interested.
My God, but I can go on talking, but this is classical dance.
But
No,
it is also part of human values.
Exactly. Thank you. That's what I wanted to, because, my journey with dance has been, and I'm telling you that I got the assignment for Gali Gali Sim Sim only because of my creativity and my orientation to creativity. I mean, in all humility, I'm not bragging, but I mean, those are things that was, and let me just begin with it, that I was interviewed for 12 hours before I was given that assignment. And so they were very rigorous about it. And so Gali Gali Sim Sim Lao, there is this whole thing called Children's Television Workshop in New York. It started somewhat like what we are trying to do, academic institution. So there was this child development person who was interested in using the arts for children. And so she called, a filmmaker, animation person, a puppeteer, a pediatrician, they all got together and thought of how to make learning accessible to the underprivileged. And so this whole program started somewhere in 1969. And then the program was so successful, and many of the immigrant families learned English through this program. And then they started, going to other countries. And so I used to watch it when my son was only 2 years old or 1.5 year old when he started watching it. My husband and I used to dream that we should do something like this for the children of India. And anyway, we used to just think about it. And when we came back without any job, etc., we were looking for things. And at the turn of the century, 2002 or 3, the Sesame had come to India also, but they were sent back. No, we don't need. But Professor Yashpal was very interested, and he kind of promoted the dialogue. And then now Sesame doesn't come and impose their program or what they do on other countries. They have what is called collaboration, and they do their homework. So they'll ask the top doctor to write about children's health issues. They'll have the top sociologist to write about family dynamics, etc. So that was done for India also. And then one television house was selected, and that's how I got into it. And but creating the more interesting than how Sesame came was creating the characters. So like there, for instance, there's a character Achu. Uska naam 30 maar khan se chala tha. What are the cultural stories that are popularly known? So this 30 maar khan was very, very, so 30 maar khan se nimar khani hona chahiye, because we were very, women should be there. Our program, by the way, is the only program which has more female characters than male. It's equal, if not more. And then Chamki,
Yeah.
the love of Bengalis to have a nickname. So Chamki, Googly, the love of Indians for cricket. So Googly was one character. So creating the characters, then creating stories, etc. Creating stories was a headache. Then we learned about how we educate our students and our younger generation only for 5% of the population. People have no idea, the writers and people like that. So therefore, internship in different communities is very crucial part of education, to learn about the diversity. And so every third episode story would come about a birthday party, because children like birthday parties. Now half the world doesn't have a birthday party, or doesn't know birthday kya hota hai, janamdin. I mean, the birth certificate is in many communities called Janam Patri. And it's not a translation. It's Janam Patri from, but now it's become, because the people named it that. And paneer khila do sabko. It's like the, classic Indian wedding food. Matar paneer, palak paneer, soya paneer, all paneer. Or so we had to do a lot of workshop orientation to the diversity of India. And diversity in food, diversity in customs, diversity in songs, diversity in dances. And so those were some of the issues that we faced. So anyway.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So I hope I didn't go into these basic things of Pataka, Tripataka, Ardha Pataka, because, there are many dancers in the group.
Yes.
So, but it makes, somehow in classes, I have to keep my hands to myself, because I tend to express as much through my hand gestures as through my words. So that is, anyway, so to all the dancers, and to kind of bring the session to a conclusion, keep the good things going. The popularity of anything else? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Any other issue that you want to discuss, Nimmi, Charu?
Yeah. Anybody, any other observations from the audience? Anything you wish to share? It need not be a question. It could be just a thought that you wish to share. Gayatri. Gayatri wants to say something.
So it's more like a question. So I've been doing Kathak since past 7 years, and the thing that it's like a when I perform on stage, I do it with full my mind and heart. But when I see the videos later, it's not how I imagined it to be. It's not that I don't know if I make sense or not, but in my mind, I feel like I'm giving my best. But when I see it's like reality versus expectations, that video. I don't know. It's just when I see the video, usually I'm always like, yeah, I could have done better. I could have been more graceful.
Gayatri, you must be 18.
Yeah.
And it's a very good feeling to have. That I mean, not to be satisfied with your videos. I mean, I think 3 times your age and or more. And I just made this Bhumi Pranam Kathak style. I must have made at least, it's a 1 minute thing. It's 30 seconds. But I must have made about 10, videos before I, with trepidation brought this. Because every time you see, oh, this could be better. So it's a very normal feeling to have. And that's what keeps you striving. I remember in the beginning, I said practice to precision to performance.
Yeah.
So every time watch your performance. You are lucky you have videos to watch. We never had. Shishe bhi nahi the classes mein. So we had to just go on what people said. What stiff the, tum hasse kyun nahi? When you are very small, smile doesn't come because you think lipstick kharab ho jayegi. And so, it's a very good feeling. All right. And all the best to you. Who do you learn?
Sorry, I just have one more follow-up question.
Please.
Yeah, how to gain more confidence when you're in stage? Like that is something I lack.
Show me your face.
Okay.
Yeah. So what's the problem if you're dancing and if you're making videos and if you're little bit of nervousness, don't let it go. And when you are performing on stage, and this is something, if I'm talking to school principals, teachers, or in my own college, home ground is the toughest. When I'm beginning, I don't engage in unnecessary conversation. That focus and play the music in your head, play the bowls in your head. It'll keep you focused. And it'll, just boost your confidence because your mind is not cluttered with usne meri dress ko ye bola, usne ye pehna tha, maine nahi pehna. All those unnecessary things will go. So focus, keep a little bit of anxiety, which will help you focus. Okay? And your self-confidence will come. I mean, your question is so nice. Okay, all the best. Who's your guru?
Sumit sir, you must have never heard. He's in Gurgaon based. Yeah. I'm from Gurgaon.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right.
Can I come in?
Yes, Charu, please.
I just wanted to share something with you. I mean, as a society, this is we right now at a pilot stage, but we floated these Google Forms to our college students, opened it out. Normally, we are very, very selective when it comes to recruiting members for our society, because the bottom line is that the person has to be classically trained and, a certain level, only then we accept. But this time, because we decided to open it to others, and we wanted to know how many students were interested in learning dance. Although, learning classical dance takes years and years of rigorous training, but this was an idea which was floated by the admin. So we said, okay, let's give it a try. And I think within less than a week or something, we got about 107 or so responses, and we were very surprised. And I would look at it very positively that, if the young generation of today even shows some interest in, even getting to know about classical dance, I think it's a good sign. The way I look at it, and everything is not lost.
Yeah. Do tell me how it pans out.
Yeah, we're just trying to figure out.
And what are their expectations from this dance? I hope you made it clear that it's classical dance.
Yeah. We made it very clear.
Yes, we did that.
Yeah.
In fact, we even asked them, what they would like to learn.
Yeah.
And the majority of them said Kathak. Majority.
Then Bharatanatyam.
And
Good. Kathak has all this,
Yeah,
I think there also
and movements and chakras.
Yeah. And I saw Bollywood has, kind of popularized it to some extent. I mean, we can't not acknowledge that to some extent.
That's
No,
true.
and it's also, I think besides Bollywood, it's also North India. So, people understand the language, people understand so, you have to give credence to all that also. I'm sure if this experiment was tried in the South, they'd opt for Bharatanatyam.
Yeah.
So, I mean, along with the fact that classical has to be classical, we have to respect people's choices, why they make choices. Vandana, hi.
Hi. I said before anything else, let me say I enjoyed myself so much. I saw you dancing in college once. I don't remember what the program was. And that same thing came across today, despite all the glitches of technology, etc., etc. And that's what I wanted to share. When you love something, and the most important thing which you said is, if you don't think that, I'm a trained classical dancer, whatever, and I have my nose up in the air and everybody else kind of won't understand. If you give that up, and that comes across so clearly when you were talking about your dance, etc., that when you share it with other people, that's the first thing that touches them. Even if I don't understand the classical dance, maybe I'm from another country, but if I see you doing it with so much of love and passion, then something of it will touch. I will stay, I will listen, I will hear and carry something back. And whether it's dance or music or art or any creative form, if you just do it with love and you share it with not a nose in the air, it will get across. So thank you. I had a really good time.
I agree with you totally in that. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Good evening. I just want to say, as Ms. Agarwal said, I enjoyed the session thoroughly. It was such an engaging workshop, and your expertise and passion has actually eliminated the connection between ethics and art. And thank you so much to the organizer also, who have actually given us an opportunity, the ones who are not in Nupur, to attend this session and enjoy. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Thank you, Prerna. Thank you. Anybody else would like to say anything?
Are you the sole male in the whole audience, Uncle?
Yes, I am the only Krishna today.
I know. We are in the Krishna week, so
yes.
तो कुछ एक कृष्णा का भाव दिखा दो हमें ओडिसी स्टाइल में. कोई एक अष्टपदी कर दो.
You actually screened one of my favorite Ashtapadis, which is Yahi Madhava Yahi Keshava. And I always love it because, it is the only Ashtapadi in which Radha is talking. And she's so confident, she almost tells him to get lost. So, yeah.
I mean, the meaning is so beautiful कि तुम्हारी आंखें लाल हो रही हैं. कि काजल भरी आंखों में प्यार करके आए हो. And it's so beautiful it is.
Yeah, and Kelu Babu he's a master. Nobody can touch him.
मैंने 3 घंटे लगा. I wanted to look for Kevat Sambad.
Yeah.
मुझे मिला ही नहीं.
Yeah. Actually, that's the thing. I mean, one has also realized, and one has been working with it, that we have lost so much of our work because digitization and saving through technology. इतना कम हमारे पास technology and resources था that it's really very, very sad. We've not been able to save a lot of our intangible arts. Today, many of the artists are doing such good work with digital work and technology, but उस समय पे ये सब नहीं था इतना कुछ.
I know, that's what I was saying कि मैं वो बाला सरस्वती जी का भी वो last देखना चाहती थी. I think I saw one of her last performances. It was so moving. I mean, tears were flowing down the way she kind of just said, brought out the feeling of the wonder कि मैं इसको डांट रही हूँ, ये है कौन?
Yeah, I've heard about her. Obviously, I've never see her, but I've heard and read about her performances.
They're very
so
nice.
soulful.
Thanks to you all. I wanted to show some stalwarts, some younger people. So I brought out all these.
Thank
But
you.
the other thing that's happening with digitization, Ankan, and we have to be a little careful. Anybody and everybody is putting videos.
True.
वो ओडिसी का लास्या दिखा रहे थे, तो she was moving her body like this and it's on a video. I said, I've learned Odissi. I mean, I thought the torso moves like this.
Yeah.
So that's why. And Kathak also. You never move your hands like that. So anyway, that's the influence of fast food, fast movement, fast life.
Yeah, I mean, Adorno says, right, that technology turns art into a commodity of mass production. So that is what is happening.
Punya, thank you also for your question. I mean, your comment.
Yeah.
Very nice. Punya is from Lady Irwin.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Punya, for
Really
joining
enjoyed
in.
this. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I would request Nimiji to give the formal vote of thanks for today.
Yeah. On
One
behalf of
one moment. We have one person, Savita Bhargav. I don't know
yes.
whether.
Yeah, I admitted I saw her joining.
She's 82, 83, and she still dances.
Wow.
So I would like her to show.
I saw her joining.
I can see her, but I don't know whether she's there.
Okay.
And she's a very graceful dancer. She learned Kathak in yonder years. Hello? I don't think she's there.
Savita Bhargav ji, namaskar. Welcome to the session, and I hope you enjoyed the session. I did admit her. I saw her joining.
But I think
I don't know.
She might have exited, ma'am.
Yeah.
Possible.
Okay. Yeah.
So,
All right.
Ankan and Charu want me to do the official word of thanks. So on behalf of Nupur, the Indian Classical Dance Society of Janki Devi Memorial College, I wish to convey our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Asha Singh for doing this beautiful session today on the occasion of G20 Jan Bhagidari event. Janki Devi is one of the nodal colleges among 11 other colleges chosen for this event. And when I requested Dr. Singh to accept the invitation, she said, but why me? There are stalwarts in the field of classical dance, and why did you people think about me? And we ended up saying that, it's about dance and it's about human values, and you are an amalgamation of dance and human development come together. And you've done so much work on theater in education. You work with children, and that is the kind of combination that we were looking for. And I think we have chosen the perfect person for this session. And I'm really glad that Dr. Singh, you could make it. I, of course, I've always been a great admirer of yours as a student of child development in Lady Irwin College. And I wanted others also to meet you, to interact with you, learn about your journey, dance and everything else. And I'm so glad that it's been such an engaging and interactive session. Thank you so much once again on behalf of my colleagues, students, all the members, participants here for giving your valuable time. Thank you once again. And my only desire is that if we could do this live instead of doing it online next time.
I'd love to.
It'd be great.
But Mrs. Bhargav has opened her video. Let's request her, since she's
Sure.
a very senior person, to
Yes.
say.
I must say, I really enjoyed the whole thing, and it takes me back to so many more experiences through dances of people like Devi Charan and people like Kabirji Maharaj. And I mean, I have really not danced as much, but I've enjoyed dance. I've enjoyed dance. And even today, if I hear the music that stirs my soul, I cannot stop. I'm 87 years old, not 8. But anyway, thank you so much. I have really enjoyed it. God bless all of you. All of you. May dance grow your soul and make you enjoy what dance can bring to people. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am,
Thank
for
you, ma'am.
joining in. Thank you so much for your blessings. Thank you so much for joining in. Such a pleasure to have you here today.
I enjoyed it tremendously. Thank you.
Can we have a group photograph?
Yeah.
Yeah. I request everyone if they can switch on their cameras
Switch on your cameras, please.
just for a minute.
My critical audience is also there. Maya Singh, my daughter.
Yes, I did see her.
See my camera.
Such nice faces. सब डब्बे के पीछे रहते हैं. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you.
attending the session and being active participants. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Singh. And we hope to see you in Janki Devi soon.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. We would like to see
Thank
you
you.
very soon.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you so much.
Namaskar.